The species was born in exactly the way you are thinking. But to be fair, the Vastaya are quite cool, and they are definitely gonna be a playable race. Just like Yordles, also like Ionia a lot.
That's canon, isn't it?
After Noxians ravaged Mother Nature.
Hey guys, Veggie Gamer back, and we're back to League of Legends lore stuff. VEGGIEKNIGHTS, very, very exciting. This video has been highly recommended to me. It is by Necrit. I'm dyslexic, guys. I apologise if I said that completely wrong. Hopefully he'll say, hi, I'm Necrit at the start of the video so I can correct myself. And apparently his stuff is really awesome, guys. And so there's going to be a deep dive into the lore, which is kind of what I've been needing up to this point. Because I love reacting to the trailers, guys, and thinking, oh, what's that? And then have you guys leave me your comments in the comments and reading through them and just finding them all so fascinating. That being said, I do need to fill in the holes a little bit. Ignore me. And so we're going to be checking it out today. Very, very exciting. Gotta say, I have brought you here under false pretenses to an extent, guys. I apologise. And you can skip forward if you want. But I'm just too intrigued. We're going to be checking out the Brink of Infinity. I'm sorry to be tricking you guys. But since this got posted, guys, and seeing so many people say, no, don't check out, it's rubbish. That just makes me want to check out even more, so we are going to check out. It's only 2 minutes long, okay? And then I promise you, we will then get onto the world of... I should say, the video that we'll be covering by Necrit is the world of Riot MMO is already done. What an interestingly worded title. Very interesting. Also, Darius is in the thumbnail, guys. It's only just dawned on me. Darius and Garen. I bet they've got a bit of lore behind each other, aren't they? Because they're quite, you know, it's like yin and yang sort of characters, you know? Or maybe they have literally nothing to do with each other. No, they must do. I bet there's loads of fan art online about them too. Not that kind of fan art. Actually, to be honest, there probably is, let's face it. But either way, we're going to be getting to that in a moment, guys, because the more important reaction that we got to do, and I'm sorry for tricking you, is Season 2023, The Brink of Infinity, the cinematic that they had to put an apology out about a couple of the days afterwards. We're going to be checking that out first. By the way, guys, I will be going into my notes for A New Dawn next time, just so I can keep this video nice and succinct, but you guys gave me the lowdown on a lot of the characters in that, so thank you very much. Also, you pointed out that it's not really canon and everything, and so it's before the lore was really revamped, you know, which is apparently was a big event in the fan base, and so we'll go into that next time. I don't have all the names down yet, so if one of them shows up and I call him Shotgun McGee or something like that, who I thought was cool, then I apologise. But we'll get into my notes for A New Dawn at the start of the next trailer reaction, which I actually have no idea what it's going to be. Maybe it's going to be the Bloom and Dance group. Or the group, I should say. They don't just dance, do they? Yeah, maybe we'll do that next. As always, let me know what else you want me to check out next. And also, if there's any more Necrit stuff that you want to check out in the future. But first, let's get on to the more important video. I'm only joking, which is the Brink of Infinity. The Brink of Infinity. Yes, I got it right. Okay, so I presume I'm about to have my balls blown off by how good this trailer is, guys. I'm joking, guys. I'm just intrigued. I obviously haven't got my hopes up for it to be spectacular or anything, but I am interested to see what take this is. Considering for someone who hasn't played the game and everything, guys, I have no idea what this is going to be, and so let's check it out. Brink of Infinity, the greatest cinematic. I'm really joking. I only watched it yet. I might think it is. Anyway. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Riot game me. Well, it's very pretty so far already.
Once again, I stand at the brink of infinity.
Who's that?
What lies beyond the shrouded path?
Oh, a little moth.
Death? No.
Gandalf in around, is he?
Nothing that simple. The best part of me will live on in the scars I leave behind.
It's like a beautiful map. It's a map, isn't it?
I do not fear the darkness.
Oh, someone's weapon
I will
there.
brave the shadows, trusting nothing but my strength.
Oh, little dude! Saw a little lizard dude.
I have found my limit 1,000 times,
Great.
and still I press further.
That's pretty inspirational. That's dramatic.
Every mistake, a lesson.
Could have been Leona's weapon. No, she's got a sword, didn't she? Don't know whose sword that was. Blooming
Now
huge.
I will teach them to fear me. I will
Noxus?
become
No.
what I must be.
I see red, I think
Why?
Noxus.
Because I can.
Okay. I liked it. I liked it, guys. Now, I get it. I get that after the previous one was the call, wasn't it? Which we went into last time at the start of my New Dawn trailer reaction, because I'd like to do my thoughts on the previous one in the following video for whatever reason. And I said how the call is really, I really respect the call, because for people like me, I can understand that there are good guys and bad guys in it, but there is so much going on, particularly with Pantheon, because I keep on calling them Pantheon, and Leona, where as someone who doesn't know anything about the lore is kind of not really knowing exactly what's going on. And so that's what I really love about the call, is that it's clearly a cinematic that was made for players and fans of the lore of League of Legends. Because if I showed anyone Warriors, oh, what's it called? The other one. Oh no, the other one. Oh no, I'm terrible. Awaken. There we go. I had to sing the song away along in my head. If I showed those to anyone, you can largely work out what's going on. And, you know, and they'll still blooming in love it. But the call had so much, clearly had so much lore behind it, that I really respect the fact that it was basically, what I'm trying to say is that it was a cinematic for the fans of League of Legends, not just for schmucks like me who haven't even played the game yet. I say yet. So this is a bit of a downgrade, I admit. That being said, I thought it was very pretty. Like I say, I believe that this is actually a map. I doubt that's Draven's axe. I presume that all these weapons belong to people. I recognise this thing. I feel like Leona had it, but she has a sword and a shield. So maybe that's Pantheon's weapon then. Because I recognise that. I swear I remember when Pantheon gets knocked off the cliff, I swear that thing is like in front of him when he's getting back up. I could be wrong. I thought this was pretty. I love the dialogue, quite frankly. I thought the dialogue was wonderful. Some of you guys have said that you want me to check out the dialogue lines for characters, guys. I'm up for doing that. If there's a particular character that you want me to check out, then please let me know. Obviously, I want to do Jinx first. Powder, as I call her. Still. Because she's my favourite character, still. I don't know, guys. I really like Leona, and the fact that she's been in the last 2 trailers has been awesome as well. So maybe her as well. But let me know whose voice lines I should check out. I apologise about my line about Noxus, guys, because whenever I see anything red, I think that it's instantly Noxian. I presume this is something to do with capturing the flag or something like that. I actually don't know the rules of League of Legends. Is there a capture the flag mode? And then you had all these knives coming down. I can't imagine. I don't think I've seen anyone who has that sort of weaponry so far. But anyway, that's that done. I wanted to check it out. I enjoyed it. If I'd gone in there after watching The Call, Awakened, and all the other ones, and then straight into that, sure, I get it. It's not ideal. I'm not defending it. I presume that next time they will try harder. I presume that also something went wrong when it came to maybe the production of another cinematic, which could obviously happen. And so maybe they just had to put out something. And so For what it was, I liked it, but it ain't no Awakened a Warrior or a Core or a New Dawn, which I really enjoyed, even though it was pre thing. So now on to the main event. The World of Riot MMO is already done. Which again is such an interesting way of saying it. It's not the World of League of Legends or the World of Runeterra. The World of Riot MMO is already done. Because apparently there's an MMO getting made. I don't know if that's really my sort of style, because I like single player games, guys. Although the fighting game, I'm definitely going to be all over. So as soon as we get a trailer of that, I will be all over that like a bobbin to bobbins. But, that being said, I'd imagine that all the projects are going to be quite a way away. No idea who this big dude here is. Oh, it could be the dude from Awakened. The big stumpy dude. Oh man, I can't remember his name. That's terrible. Zaun, right? I doubt it. I'd imagine. I mean, the fact is there's so many characters in this. I don't know how much of an overlap we will get with characters that I've seen before. But either way, guys, get my notepad, because I feel like I'm going to need that for this one. So I do like to make a lot of notes in like show reactions and move reactions and everything. And this is chunky, guys. This ain't no 4-minute trailer. And so I will get my pencil there. Now let's check this out, guys. Obviously go and check out Necrit's this person's channel. I'm sorry. But either way, let's check this out. I've heard great things about this. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
In the past, MMOs were regarded as the godfathers of games. They were the peak of what developers could accomplish. Even though, looking back, that's a fairly subjective thing to say. Everyone knew MMOs had the power to create cult following, but also everyone knew making MMOs was hard. On average, an MMO has to spend at least 6 years in the baking before it can get anywhere near being good. But
I can believe that
didn't stop companies from jumping onto the bandwagon anyway. And soon we could see dozens of new MMOs, all releasing in 2008. All
Warhammer ones.
Spoiler alert, none of them did that. And unfortunately, we can feel the ripple effects even now. It got to a point where every time a new MMO is announced, we all think the same thing. Oh. Anyway, when you're working on an MMO, you have to respect 3 pillars. Gameplay is king, social interactions matter, and the world setting is important.
Oh god,
when
yes.
Riot
I'd say that is really is.
their MMO, it became clear that 2 of the pillars are being respected, and the third one is already done. When it comes to the gameplay, it is currently in the hands of Ghostcrawler, someone who's been working on WoW during its best times, and someone who got a reputation for hating boomkins and loving mages. When it comes to the social interactions, it is a dance between the developers and the players. A dev can guide players towards social interactions, or they can annihilate them, and after that the players usually find their own fun inside the MMO. From that point on, the devs should do everything in their power to support the players having fun in their own way. And finally, when it comes to the world of an MMO, in Riot's case, it's done. And it's been finished for quite a few years now. In fact, the world of Riot's MMO is in such a good state. They already have the continents, the zones, the cultures, and the races. And to a lesser degree, every zone already has its own storyline. Now, Noxus, unless you follow the lore of League of Legends, you wouldn't know about this. And that's why I decided to make this video. I want to show you all the zones we are going to see in the MMO and what sorts of quests we are going to do there. So, for the purpose of this video, I will assume you have no idea what League of Legends is about. You have no idea what the universe is about, but you like MMOs, your hairline is receding, and you have a crippling fear of Nintendo 64 controllers. To which I might add, why do you think I'm wearing hats? But now, without further ado, let's have a look at all the zones in Riot's MMO.
I never really played Nintendo 64, guys, so I don't know that.
This is Runeterra, the world of League of Legends.
Demacia,
right now,
Noxus,
the world is separated into 10 main regions.
I know these top places.
These 10 regions don't cover all the land on the map, so there are some mini-zones.
Piltover and Zaun's there!
And the lore already revealed that there is gonna be another continent further to the east. That definitely sounds like a future expansion to me. In fact, it would be foolish to release all of these regions at launch. You can easily turn half of these into separate expansions. And because a lot of people already know and love these regions, the hype behind these expansions would be big. With that said, I know a lot of you would like to play as Shurimans or Ionians. And now you may be cursing me for suggesting that these would be expansions. But the lore can justify giving you these nations as playable races without having their regions. I'll show you how Riot can pull this off in a bit. First,
I can see
let's
that.
talk about the regions Riot's MMO
I know,
has to start with.
Everyone in the north
The
I know
Northern Continent.
of.
This entire continent is called Valorant.
Very interesting.
Valorant. And this is
Valorant.
where the absolute core of this world is. The two main regions here are Demacia and Noxus. They are the two big rivals equivalent to the Horde and the Alliance. While I would like to say that Demacia is your classic normie human region, it's not really true. Runeterra doesn't really have a normal place. There is something cool happening in every region.
I would have thought
And
Piltover would be.
Demacia has racism. Okay, maybe not racism, because Demacia doesn't mind Yordles or Minotaurs, but they really hate mages. That's because in the past,
That was
the
Lux
rivals
and,
almost annihilated
Silas.
half of the world using magic. And so Demacia
I've heard
was
about their
built
history.
inside a magic-absorbing forest. Therefore,
Wow.
Demacia is a really cool place where you can hide from magic. When it comes to the visuals of the zone, you can see a lot of lush fields, it is surrounded by mountains, but the iconic part of Demacia are the
Wow.
buildings.
Gorgeous.
They are made of petricite, which is a combination of stone and the magic-absorbing wood. Because these ancient magic-absorbing trees were grey, all the buildings have a marble-like appearance.
Gorgeous.
And yes, given what material they are using, all the buildings in Demacia also absorb magic. So should a mage visit
Oh,
this
wow.
region, let's just say it's gonna be a painful experience. On top of this, let's not forget that Demacians can weaponize petricite. They can turn it into petricite steel, which gives you your classic anti-magic weapons, and you can sculpt petricite constructs which wake up after a
Oh!
magic. Simply
I love
said,
that thing.
These guys just really
Like
don't
Gallia,
like
right?
magic. The
Like.
irony is, they've been absorbing it for years now. And this is where the story would kick in. You see, the Demacians are so afraid of magic, they founded the Mage Seeker Order. This is an order of people who hunt mages, they throw them into prison, and they torture them until their body gives up on magic. So yes,
Oh,
being
God.
a mage is a crime in Demacia. The thing is,
Jeez.
people still get naturally born with magical abilities. You can't stop it from happening. So not only are there mages hiding in the royal court, right now there is a mage civil war happening in Demacia, where
Really?
mages and people who don't hate mages rise up to fight for moral rights.
Oh, no, which side
So
I'm
should
on?
we do some quests in this zone? This
Oh my
is gonna
God.
be the core story. Mages
Child
trying
getting
to
taken.
overthrow racist leadership following old laws. So the main enemy NPCs might be mages and witches. But I know what you're thinking now, and don't worry. There will be plenty of boars to kill here too.
That was Garen and
Or at least
Cyrus
there are
there.
loads of wolves here, as well as stags. And we can't forget the iconic Demacian raptors. But further to the south,
Pretty.
we might find some crag beasts, tiny woolly elephants,
Ah!
and yes, of
Love him.
course in the Argent Mountains there are also dragons.
Oh, no!
Loads and loads of dragons. But that's
Really
about
cute.
it for Demacia. Fun fact, the capital city of Demacia is called the Great City of Demacia. Sounds dumb, but Runeterra was not the first one to come up with this. But thankfully
Yeah,
the other
we have
regions
that
are a
place
bit
like
more
in real-
creative
in
with their
real life like
names. So now, let's move away from the normie region, and let's have a look at the badass region.
I bloomin' said about Garen and,
If you're planning on playing
Darius at the
warrior
start.
with oversized weapons and overcompensating lush hair, this is the region for you.
Okay.
This place actually has a long and badass history, but we really don't have the time to explain it now. So just know that originally it was built by the most badass warrior in the history of Runeterra. This motherfucker literally died on a mountain of corpses.
Wow.
And after he died, he was too angry to stay
Sauron,
dead,
dude.
so he just became the god of the underworld. When this guy lived, he built the Immortal Bastion, which is to this day the largest structure on the entirety of Runeterra.
Oh.
And currently, he is banished underneath the Immortal Bastion, but only a few people know about it. So, you know,
Keep that hush.
that's a future raid boss. Anyway, the Immortal Bastion
Not playable
is the
character,
capital
then.
city of the Noxian Empire. with Noxus
the
being
MMO.
one of the most brutal nations in Runeterra. It is brutal because the nation is surrounded by rocky earth. It is hard to grow plants here, so Noxians are forced into conquering surrounding land for resources to survive. That's why when you go to the map you can notice that the Noxian territory is all over the place. It's because these are all the places Noxus has already conquered.
That's
Although,
very interesting.
when I say it like that, you may imagine Noxus brutally raiding everything. But that's not true. They like to absorb the surrounding nations into their
She's
empire.
cool.
After all, it's just more human resources. Most of the time, they only
She's
remove
very
the
cool.
royalty and they let the leaderless people join their empire. And that's because Noxus values strength above all. And rulers tend to not be good fighters.
What's
This
this?
is what you can see in the After Victory cinematic. They
Oh.
killed the king because he was weak and let everyone else join them. Fun fact, conquering nations is so iconic for Noxus, they have their own saying. Kill them until they are family. So when it comes to the quests in Noxus, it is most likely going to be helping
And
the
that's her.
Empire expand its
Wow.
territory. Although, this region has its own unique enemies too. Inside the Immortal Bastion, there is a cult known as the Black Rose. This cult is connected to the darkest of magics. So be ready to fight Hemomancers, witches, demons, and the Grey Legion.
There
which
he
an
is,
army of
Sauron,
soldiers revived
Sion.
with blood magic to fight for the Empire again. And when it comes to collecting 10 bear asses, here we have the native Drakehounds and Basilisks. Now, while
Blood
Noxus and
bastards.
Demacia are the main rivals here, both of them are also constantly repelling raids from the north. So now,
So
let's
they're
have a look
attacking
at
as well.
Freljord.
Or raiding at least.
Just like pretty much any region on Runeterra, Freljord has a long history. But for the purpose of this video, just know that the maddening old gods known as the
Jeez.
Watchers of the Void, who want to devour the entire reality only because it keeps waking them up, once tried to breach into reality here. They almost succeeded because they tricked the Ice Witch Lysandra into helping them. Fortunately, she realized how wrong she was, and she managed to freeze half of the kingdom with the Watchers still beneath them.
That's
So
amazing.
these days, the Ice Witch is the only person holding back the end of reality by keeping the Watchers frozen. So at some point in the future, you bet one of these woken up frozen Watchers is gonna be a raid boss.
Oh god, yes.
Now, when it comes to the NPCs, this is where things get diverse. First of all, remember that the Freljord is brutally cruel. Everything is frozen,
Oh.
and survival is everything. So the
Yeah.
first enemy here would be the wildlife. From Rhymefangs to Yetis to Druvasks to Elnuks to Mammoths to the worst of them all, Poros. Next we are going to fight the Freljord.
Everything is dude!
themselves. There are three
Right.
main tribes here. The
Volleyball.
Avarosans, who are quite peaceful, the Winter's Claw, who are quite brutal,
That's
and
it.
the Frostguard,
Claw.
Lysandra's followers who hold back the Watchers. And let me tell you, these guys have some badass armor.
They
Among
do,
the
their
other
helmets.
tribes, there are also the Ursine, which are shamans who worship the Volibear, the primal god of the wild
Oh,
who
the
slowly
Volibear.
turns his worshippers into twisted animalistic monstrosities.
Oh, I love him.
Speaking of which, yes, there are also
Sorry.
the primal gods of Freljord.
I love him.
And finally, we need to talk about the Iceborn. When the Watchers tried to arrive here, they tainted the ice around them. This special ice is called the True Ice. And it is so dangerous,
I love Orange.
you
Sorry,
literally
I'm sorry.
die if you touch it. However, the Watchers also tainted some people, giving them the ability to touch the ice.
I know.
It is still extremely painful for them to hold
he's from
a
this
true
area
ice
then.
weapon, but at least they can survive it. These people are known as the Iceborn. But people were not the only things that were tainted. There are also ice trolls, some
Wow.
of whom are also Iceborn. To be honest, these guys were made to have their own dungeon. But there are also some animals that were twisted by the Watchers. And Lysandra is even twisting some beings herself to make them
Lysandra
serve
sounds
her.
bloody important,
So
guys.
overall, Freljord is gonna have a lot of cool warriors, shamans, and horrors. So these would be the three nations
Lovely
on the
editing there.
continent. But this place is actually so big it can easily make the base world of the game. Especially since there are a bunch of smaller regions in between them. There is
Braun
Notnest,
is the guy
full
with the
of
shield,
witches,
right? He was in
Argent
the,
Mountains with their dragons, Tokugol with void monsters,
You really got me, trailer.
planes with him and so much
cool.
more. But from here, you can cleverly set up the expansions because of how well everything is interconnected. So now, let's have a look at the continent to the east called Ionia.
Lots of
Ionia
characters
has a very
here.
close connection to Noxus. You can only guess why. It's because Noxians once tried to conquer it all during an event simply called the Invasion of Ionia. This was a horrible war full of using children as soldiers because Noxians thought Ionians wouldn't fight back against children. And chemical weapons. Lots and lots of chemical weapons.
Yeah, I heard about this.
Speaking of which, remember
You guys have told me
Singed
about
from
this.
Arcane?
Yeah.
He's the guy who chemically devastated Ionia. Eventually, Noxus failed, but they kept their small controlled territories. So the first quest here could be simply boarding a ship, sailing over, and exploring the place for the Noxian Empire. Now, when it comes to Ionia itself, the place gets mystical. Everything here is alive and connected to the spirit of nature. And I mean everything, from the animals to the people to the buildings. Everything is alive. So if you anger Mother Nature, your house can twist and strangle you in your sleep. So you can only imagine how Mother Nature fought against Noxians. Usually a river came alive to drown them. That's why all the buildings here look like they were woven from wood. It's because they were. With nature magic, people let nature build their houses. It also means that sometimes your house can just walk away. When it comes to the NPCs here, obviously there's gonna be a lot of nature spirits. And a lot more of simply mystical animals. From giant flying tigers to the never-ending story.
Yes, it really
You
is.
also face local Ionians, Blade Masters, Shadow Cultists, Murderers, and Ninjas. Both good,
Sub-Zero.
bad, and the in-between. But finally, there is also one more enemy that we could face.
Jin. There.
The furries.
Uh-oh.
That's right.
Hey,
This race is known as
of course she's from here.
Demacia. They are half humans and half magical animals. And yes, canonically, the species was born in exactly the way you are thinking. But to be fair, the Vastaya are quite cool, and they are definitely gonna be a playable race. Just like Jordos,
Is that canon?
also like Ionia a lot.
That's canon, isn't
Lastly,
it?
after Noxians ravaged Mother Nature, demons started occupying all the places filled with misery and doubt. So that's gonna be a nice bonus enemy. So yes, the exploration of Ionia and the raid on the Shadow Order could be a really cool first expansion.
I gotta say, this place looks gorgeous. Ionia looks amazing.
We can also go south to Piltover and Zaun.
Here we go!
These are the ones people will know about, simply because this is where Arcane took place.
Everybody
Piltover
wants
and
to be my
Zaun
enemy.
are two massive cities located one above the other. And they are so massive they could easily be turned into their own playable zones. They are both focusing on futuristic technology powered up by magic of the Hextech gemstones. Using this magic, they can power up anything from guns to augmented limbs to vehicles. Visually, it is simply futuristic Victorian
Echo's
era.
vehicle.
And unfortunately, there wouldn't be much of enemy variety. We would likely fight the rich houses of Piltover and their deadly assassins, with the occasional thief on the streets, corrupt wardens, and the occasional rogue steam golem. But things get a bit more interesting in the undercity known as Zaun. Zaun is the dirty underbelly covered in thick toxic smoke. Because the majority of people are poor here, they developed a cheaper alternative to Hextech called Chemtech. This artificial green stuff can power up cheaper limb replacements, as well as highly unstable weaponry. Zaun is also controlled by the Cam Barons, which are obviously gonna be the main enemy here. But on the side, we may also meet some chemical mutants, unstable constructs, as well as some mass murderers and people who hunt down mass murderers. And funnily enough, at the very bottom of Zaun itself, there are the hidden ruins of an ancient city full of traps. That is obviously gonna be a cool dungeon. So yes, there is not much more that I can add here. Piltover and Zaun were simply explored in Arcane.
Is that
So if you like the series, you are gonna like this place.
Yeah,
From here,
bloody hell,
we
it
can
was.
travel further south to Shurima. Shurima used to be a massive empire that ruled the world.
I'm sorry, guys. I had to just pause for a second then. I hate pausing in these sort of things. I like to just react, like, freshly. But that was just so much information in Piltover there. So my brain was getting so overwhelmed. I was just going, oh, it's that, it's that, it's that. And I wasn't making any sense. Vi looks completely... Was that Vi? Because she had Clagger's goggles on. She had the right hair colour. She even had the blooming jacket from Arcane, which I didn't think was a thing. Although you can get Arcane skins in League, I believe. We saw more Singe, who was responsible for the chemical attack on Ionia. I didn't know he had anything to do with that, guys. I've heard a lot about that. That goes a lot into Riven's backstory and Yasuo. And obviously, and probably countless other characters as well. Urgot was the first guy who said, oh, I know that guy. I'm trying to rattle off these names as fast as I can, guys. And the problem is, I am still just learning them. So I'm sorry if if I'm like just saying, oh, that guy. But we even saw bloomin' thief dude from Awakened there, which makes apparently he is from Piltover. So he was like, you know, trying to raid something underneath it. There is very, very cool. I do like the look of his character. Azrael, isn't it? Yeah, we saw a lot there. After this video, I'm going to go back and go through all these bits of artwork, but quite frankly, it's just gorgeous, quite frankly. I mean, look at this blooming thing here. Either way, let's get back into the video. I'm so sorry about doing that. Like I say, I don't usually pause during these sort of things. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
The entire empire collapsed. This region is a massive desert with the occasional city near a river. In the center of the region, there is the Sun Disk, a colossal piece of star metal that has the power to reflect celestial magic. The Shurimans use this celestial magic to turn their best soldiers into the Ascended, also known as the Golden God Warriors.
Very Egyptian.
However, these God Warriors
yes,
a great enemy here. That's because
Love
after
this
the
dude.
Emperor had died, the Ascended started fighting for leadership. And slowly, after learning how to use blood magic to gain the edge, they morphed their own bodies and became the Dark. Twisted, blood-frenzied monsters that would certainly make really cool raid bosses. Besides this ancient evil, Shurima is also full of its own animals, raiders, dune scavengers, and on top of all of that, void creatures. That's because to the south, there used to be a kingdom known as Ikathia that wanted to destroy the Shuriman Empire. So,
the Void?
They asked the Watchers for help. You can imagine how that went. The Watchers went through some void beasts that consumed Ikathia and polluted Shurima to this day. To fight back the void, Shurima does have a lot of hidden tombs around with hidden god warrior weapons. Not to mention that Shurima also has a circle of time mages who are trying to freeze the void in time. Now, as I mentioned near the beginning of the video, even if Shurima becomes an expansion, they can still easily make Shurimans a playable race because they are already connected to Noxus. As you can see, of course, Noxians already conquered part of Shurima, so some Shurimans are fighting for Noxus. Also, as a cool fact, for those of you who liked Arcane, Hex Crystals are harvested in Shurima. That's why a Shuriman expansion would be a great follow-up to Piltover and Zaun. And again, that's why Riot can easily turn only the northern continent into the base world.
I feel that's all you need.
Going west from Shurima, we arrive at Mount Targon. This place is incredibly unique.
The cool.
First of all, this mountain is not natural. It was literally pulled up from the ground by celestial gods.
Well, like Holland.
And that's because this place serves as a portal to the celestial realm, also known as Targon Prime. Now, because this mountain was pulled up, it also has some unique features. For example, you may find frozen lakes frozen horizontally on the mountain. And the very peak of the mountain is special too. Should a mortal reach the peak despite the brutal climate and the deadly wildlife, either they die from exhaustion, or the celestial gods deem them worthy and they become an ascended aspect. There is aspect of war, aspect of the sun, aspect of the moon, aspect of the twilight,
I've heard about her.
The guardian, and so
Diana,
on.
right?
Simply said, after people reach the peak, they become some of the strongest beings on the entire planet. So of course, the mountain is full of people who worship the celestial demigods. And I speculate this is where we could get a lot of cool armor sets.
Oh yes.
There are the Solari, who are devoted to the aspect of the sun. Then there are the rivals, the Lunari, who are devoted to the aspect of the moon. But
Yeah,
also, the
I can get
tribe
that.
I assume will become a playable class, the Warriors of Rakor. Of course, besides just humans, Targon also has all sorts of furry Vastaya.
Love it.
Near the bottom of the mountain, you may notice that the mountain is alive.
Oh, yes.
But also there are stellar corns, a variety of mind-bending creatures,
I'm feeling getting some footage
and
here.
loads and loads of dragons. Speaking of which, remember that this place is linked to the Celestial Realm. So this is where we may also meet the star-forging celestial dragon Aurelian Soul, as well as all sorts of other celestial beings. A lot of these would make for interesting bosses. In fact, the ascension of Mount Targon would be a really cool raid.
Oh
Next,
yes.
on the other side of Shurima, there is Ixtal. This is a special place where people are mastering the elemental
Ixtal.
magic. They are using
How?
it for everything. Fishing, smithing, walking. And this place is definitely gonna be saved for an expansion.
Very
Basically,
pretty.
remember when Icathian asked the Watchers for help? And then that happened? Ixtal was their neighbor, and after they saw the Void devour an entire kingdom, they believed the Void would soon devour the entire world.
Yeah.
So, using their elemental magic, Ixtal built
Morrowind.
massive walls of plants
Love
around
it.
their entire region, isolating themselves from the rest of the world. For 3,500 years, Ixtal stayed isolated, believing that the world outside of their walls was devoured by the Void. But
Oh,
now,
wow.
very recently, some mages found out that the world outside is completely fine. So now,
Kind
the
of.
Ixtali mages are slowly revealing themselves.
That's
To be
awesome.
honest, Ixtal is the most underdeveloped region in Runeterra. We know the region has a lot of hunting Vastaya, deadly plants,
Dawn,
and some
Dawn.
elemental dragons.
New Dawn,
but
I should
most
say.
of the region is still a mystery to us. So at least here, Riot will have the freedom to try something new. But
I
now,
love the look
we
of that
leave
place.
the main continent to visit the
Ixtal?
last two regions. First of all, there is Bilgewater. If you like pirate adventures, this is gonna be your place.
Not Blackwater.
This is where we are going to explore inns and gambling dens.
Oh, wow.
Even some local temples worshipping the god of motion, Nagake Boros. Here we are going to fight pirates and sea monsters, sea witches,
Noodle.
sea Vastaya, maybe some demons.
Wow.
And possibly we'll side with Sarah Fortune to fight the king of the pirates, Gangplank. But there's a lot
Plank.
more.
Great name.
Last year, Riot released their RPG, which was set in Bilgewater. So not only can
Oh.
we already explore this place in detail, but it even has a monster journal. And at a quick glance, you can already see some really cool bosses too.
Yeah.
However, this place is also linked to the last place I want to show you today, the Shadow Isles. See, every year the horrors of the Shadow Isles lurk out, and Bilgewater just happens to be the closest place. So every year, Bilgewater is fighting the undead. Once upon a time, the Shadow Isles used to be
Stillwater
the
is what I'm
Blessed
thinking of.
Isles, a rich place full of advanced magic. Long story short, there was a young asshole king who wanted to revive his dead queen. And in the process, he accidentally released dark necromantic magic. This
Oh.
magic destroyed the island and made it home for undeath. In the lore,
he didn't
this
look mad,
event
though.
is called the Ruination. And because the RPG is called the Ruined King, it may not be a surprise to you that you also get to explore the Shadow Isles there. And there they have anything you can imagine. Undead horrors creeping everywhere. And should we ever venture into these islands, I have no idea whom we're going to fight. The Ruined King who caused all of this is banished elsewhere. Thresh, who siphoned his magic after he was
Thresh
banished,
looks
also
metal.
left the Isles. And even Hecarim, the most brutal soldier of them all, is currently around Demacia. So the Shadow Isles don't currently have a main baddie. So this is where Riot could push forward some of the side characters. Now, even though these have all been the regions that are currently set up on Runeterra, Riot has already confirmed that there is a new continent further to the east. Currently, it is planned to be revealed in the upcoming Ruination novel. And so far, we know that this new continent is where the ruined King Viego is from.
Oh!
And this is also where he was banished at the end of his story. All we know about that place is that it is quite mystical. There are yet more dragons here, and in fact, Kamavor, which is the rune's
Sephiroth over
destination,
here.
has a lot of draconic armor. So should Riot run out of places to explore, don't worry, they can always make up more.
Yeah, of course.
But that's all I
Fantasy.
wanted to show you today. As someone who's been following
Love
the
him.
lore of League of
Alright.
Legends from the very beginning, I can tell you, I'm very confident the setting of Riot's MMO is gonna be great. Their incredible writers have been preparing the world for years now. And now, it's time to harvest the fruit. If you like this video, let me know in the comments below.
Ah, it's
Because
excellent,
right
dude.
now, I still have 3 more topics that I could talk about in regards to the MMO.
Yes, please.
I especially want to talk about the potential raid bosses we can face, and the potential classes we could play. And as someone who has collected an unholy amount of transmog, I would love to show you all the cool armor sets this universe has. But that's
just
it
said
for
a bunch
this
of 'em.
video. See you in 6 to 8 years when the MMO gets released.
Yeah, I bet. That was brilliant. Oren, I worried. Oh, I love him. I love him. Okay, I'm sorry, guys. I love this character. I've only said him in the call, but I love him so much. That was blooming fan. This is excellent, guys. And you know what? It was incredibly digestible. Learning how to pronounce these location names may take a while, but my goodness, this was excellent. Yeah, this is a brilliant introduction to the world. Great to see the map finally as well. So much to discuss, guys. So much to discuss. So, this looks like it could be Singed. I'm not sure if it is. But then again, okay, one thing I've been told before, and there seems to be a little bit of discussion whether this is the case or not. Some people think that Shimmer in Arcane, I'm sorry if I'm misrepresenting any opinions here, is replacing Chemtech, right? That's what the green stuff is called. Because many times during Arcane, my reactions, I was like, what's this green stuff and everything? And you guys fill me in, that's what it is. And so I don't know if it is particularly, like, replacing Chemtech particularly, like, but it's definitely something which has been discussed in my comments before. Loving seeing Piltover and Zaun, guys. I got to say, guys, now I know like the world that has been revealed to us, all the different places. I'm definitely a Pilty. I'm sorry, guys. I can't live anywhere else. It's too much stress. Demacia was fascinating to hear about their darker side of them, because and we did see a little bit of comic book. I've been told there is actually a comic book for Lux and I'm trying to pull these names as fast as well as I can, guys. Silas, and I'm pretty certain we saw quite a bit of it in this section. Whatever this animated sequence is, not this, but this stuff. I feel like I need to check this out, guys, because this is fascinating to me as well. It's a beautiful looking place, but the morality of it, not so much. I like the fact that there are rebels who are basically, not necessarily just mages, but people who are fighting for, the acceptance of mages as well. Although how well that would go down, I'm not so sure. Noxus is not for me. Although I love the fact that it kind of does justify, not justify is the wrong word, but it gives, it explains their morality. This guy looks outrageous. The fact that nothing really grows in their area, and so to survive, they have to, in morality aside, have to invade other places, be it friendly or not. That line, kill them until they're family. Brutal. Was that made up for League of Legends, or is that from something else? Because that is a brutal line. I love this woman so much. I don't know who she is, but whoever she is, she's all right in my book. I'm pretty sure that she might have something to do with these guys. That could even be her. I have got all these names down here, guys, but I worry that I'm probably going to be calling things the wrong things. Are these the Black Roses? I hope I'm getting it right. We heard about Bilgewater. I'm just going to go through my notes randomly here, guys. I'm wondering if it's Stillwater is the prison of Piltover, right? I doubt it's anything to do with that, because that wouldn't make any sense. But it's just interesting they have similar-ish names. Again, not my sort of place. It looks great. I'd imagine it probably, it probably does smell quite a lot of fish. But, you know, that's okay if I like fish. This, I don't know. I've no idea what this is. Obviously, there are little things that you can play around in the world outside of League of Legends, unless it's like a League of Legends mode. Oh, yeah, what we heard about the Ionians with the... Is that actually canon? That is how these creatures were created? You know, or was he joking? Because that definitely puts a different look on them, in my opinion. Although I got to admit, I did make an incredibly good, well-timed joke. I'm hoping that is canon, because if it is, guys, you have to admit that was an incredibly well-timed joke by me, and the fact that I was able to pull his name from my very bad memory, considering I've only seen him for 2 seconds in Awaken. I love the fact that at the end of the Awaken trailer, he like goes, "What?" Anyway, guessing that's him. He looks wonderful, though. He got his buddies here. I love this dude. Got one on the cloud up here as well. No, I really like this one just behind him. Looks cool. I mean, the thing is, guys, I could sit here for ages and gush about all this stuff. It's blooming excellent, though, and it was really well explained. Freljord, I'm sure I'm saying it wrong. Oh, so cool. Sorry. Definitely looks like a brutal area as well. We heard a lot about Lysandria, who seems to be like the main focus of this area, in fact. Looks amazing. There we go. That is definitely Heimerdinger's dude. It definitely is. He ain't got the moustaches though here, but of course pets look like their pets look like their owners. The other way around. You know what I mean. Love the bear dudes. Love Orin. And it looks like we got to see some other gods as well. Well, you know, look, that's not the right term, is it? But you know what I mean. Demigods, sort of things. Brilliant. And quite frankly, I'm with him. I think that the MMO, at least at the start, could easily just take place on the first continent. That really is out of Neverending Story. Oh man. That is straight. If you haven't seen Neverending Story, guys, this creature is straight out of it. It really is. I can't remember what it's called, the Sky Dragon or something like that. Neverending Story, guys, not something which I appreciated watching as a kid because of one particular scene, which I will not go into, featuring a horse. Anyway, that is. The thing is, we can't see the tattoo on her other cheek. The fact she's got a tattoo of her name on her face is amazing. But I presume this is like old style Vi. It is, you know. It is, because she's got this whole frilly stuff. I don't know what you call it, guys, but she had that in the Warriors trailer. She's certainly looking different here. Wow. And that's got to be singed there. Obviously, we didn't see anything of Silco, because that would make absolutely no sense. When it comes to this area, guys, and everything, at the moment, I love this dude so much. Reminds me of X-Men Arcade. There's like enemies on it that look a bit like this good dude. That's right. I've got a note down here saying, because I saw several of the characters from A New Dawn in this video, guys. There is a dude in it who has like a cane with like fire on the end of it. I'm guessing he's from this area, because these guys do look quite similar to him. But then we saw Vine Lady and Big Cat Dude and Redhead, I believe, all in the same area. Wasn't here, was it? This place looks gorgeous. Oh my god, guys! Maybe I want to live here. Does give me Morrowind vibes. There's like a city near the start of Morrowind. Starting location, I should say, of Morrowind, which is quite similar to this. So I presume A New Dawn takes place here. There she is. Vine Lady. Let's just play this bit. Like I say, A New Dawn is pre-canon. There we go. There's Cat Dude. I'm pretty sure that we saw Redhead here as well, though. Or maybe we didn't. I mean, all these different characters, guys. I want to learn them all and everything. Learning names for me in general is pretty rough, but I swear at some point we saw Redhead. Maybe we didn't. Maybe I dreamt it. From A New Dawn, trailer, you know homie. The one who does the bit where the thing happens. This guy, I got his name down. What is it? Thrash looks amazing. He does look a little bit like Ghost Rider. Is that what his name? But not with these blooming dreads though. Really looks so cool. And I'm pretty actually, yeah, that's a good point. We did see, who I believe is Diana, because we were going through the characters that are in this area, Mount Targon, which I didn't think would be an area per se, but it seems like it could even be its own faction. But we did see a bunch of the characters. I'm pretty sure that we saw Pantheon several times in the artwork. Don't know if that's him. Don't know who that is. Doesn't look like the most intimidating character. But at one point it showed a bunch of characters, and I'm pretty sure that one of them must have been Diana. See, that could have been Pantheon there as well. That's got to be Pantheon, right? With the helmet on and everything. Dragoons. Of course, there is meant to be like a space dragon who apparently fired stuff at Pantheon. It still blows my mind, that part of the trailer, but it is amazing though. I'm going to try and find this. Here we go. So this is obviously Leona, isn't it? Is that Diana? And I'm sorry if I'm getting this name wrong, guys, but apparently Diana and Leona went up the mountain together. And I think Diana left and Leona stayed. You guys have filled me in the info. But Leona represents the sun, and this woman is looking like one of the Lunari, which is obviously the opposite from Solari, or it was. I'm guessing this might be Diana. Confirm or deny that for me, if you will. Oh, man. The versatility of characters, though, is just mind-boggling. It really is. But like I say, they could just have it on the first continent, guys. There is enough there. I mean, I would like a strategy game, you know, like Command & Conquer, or Warcraft 3 is probably the better example. I'd love that for this. But then, I think that's not too far away from what League of Legends is as a game anyway, so maybe I just need to jump ahead and get on with that. Demacia looks so pretty, guys, but I do not like the prejudice involved in it. But then again, there's going to be prejudice everywhere, there isn't there? What I like about this sort of storytelling, guys, that's what I like about this sort of storytelling. And there's Lux being all sneaky, as always. Brilliant. Very fantastic video. Fantastic video. This guy clearly knows his fluid stuff. And he's able to explain it in a way that idiots like me can understand. I'm going to rewatch this many times just so I can see about all the little bits of information. And see who else I can see. Because we saw a lot of characters from the trailers which we've seen so far, guys. But this is excellent. I wonder if this map is like an interactive map that you can actually look on online. Or if it was made for this video. If this is something which I can check out, maybe it's in League of Legends, the game, actually. I think it probably is. Ionia is so pretty. Yeah. I'm going to leave it there, guys, because I could just gush here for another couple of hours. So this video is going to be way too long anyway. So thank you all so much for watching. Let me know what you want me to check out next. Tell me what else from Necrit, right? I'm sorry. What else you want me to check out of this stuff, because quite frankly this was brilliant. And if you're watching Necrit, I'm so sorry for saying your name wrong, but this was a fantastic video to get someone who, like me, who first learned about League of Legends lore from Arcane. This was a fantastic video to get more information. I feel ready to check out more trailers, you know, because I now have like a proper idea of what the world is like. So good. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Please subscribe, all that good stuff. I'm VEGGIEKNIGHTS, and I'll see you next time.